Elite Facts presents
7 moments from kids' shows that gave kids nightmares. Cartoons and films can provide a great escape from the world for a child. Whether it's 30 minutes or an hour and a half, it's a great way to get away from chores and homework. But escaping to fictional worlds can sometimes be a little bit scary. And we're not talking about sneaking away to watch your parents' horror films without permission. We're talking about cartoons and films that are supposed to be geared towards children, but have mind-bending and twisted scenes that would spook any kid out. Here are 7 moments from kids' shows and movies that gave kids nightmares. Bear in mind that all of the following have been aired on TV. None of the episodes on the list are cheap creepypastas.
7.
Angelica's younger brother, Rugrats. Let's start our list with a classic. Who doesn't remember Rugrats? Rugrats is one of those kids shows that everyone watched and loved. We're not talking about those revamped and spinoff shows that came out later. We're talking about the original 1990s cartoon. Unlike a lot of shows back then that focused on mindless comedy, there actually were a lot of life lessons that could be learned from Rugrats. But there were definitely some episodes that were a little on the dark side that they probably could have done without. In the episode Angelica's Worst Nightmare, we find out that her mother, Charlotte, has a bun in the oven. Being that Angelica is quite possibly the most spoiled brat in the whole world, it goes without saying that the prospect of having a younger brother doesn't go over so great with her, as she's worried that she'll have to compete for her parents' attention. Well, Angelica has a nightmare in which her new baby brother is mean. He chases her around, he eats all her food, and he's downright terrifying. He even threatens to, quote, teach her a lesson if she doesn't leave the house. All of this, coupled with the dark lit scenery and some really creepy music, was enough to give you a good old bowl of nightmares just in time for your bedtime.
6.
The Train Tracks, Tom and Jerry. This one is really dark. Tom and Jerry is probably one of the oldest cartoons on this list, and back then they were able to get away with things that you would never see in kids' shows today. Things like smoking and drinking. All the episodes were pretty much rated PG, but one in particular really raised some eyebrows. In the episode Blue Cat Blues, Tom is severely depressed and we see him sitting on the train tracks, well, waiting. Yeah, we'll let you use your imagination as to what his intention is. What's even worse is that Jerry, the mouse, knows exactly what Tom's dark thoughts are about and actually thinks if he succeeds, Tom will be happier. What the hell? This isn't something any young kid should see or hear.
5.
Return to Oz. For its time, the original 1939 film, The Wizard of Oz, was pretty scary for kids. So if that was considered creepy back then, does that make the 1985 sequel, Return to Oz, just as scary? No, the sequel is even scarier than the original. Don't believe us? Okay, let's list some of the messed up stuff that happens in it. For starters, Dorothy, played by Fairuza Balk, is in a mental institution being subjected to electroshock therapy at the start of the film, which also features screaming, disembodied heads. And don't even get us started on the Wheelers. These guys are essentially what you get when you cross the bikers from the first Mad Max film with the long arms and legs of the Slender Man. They are absolutely freaky.
4.
Watership Down, the whole movie. Watership Down is a British animated movie released in 1978 that's based on a children's book, if you can believe that. The film focuses on a bunch of talking rabbits animated in a style similar to what you'd see in a Disney release. At first glance, this film looks like a whimsical adventure, but even with this film's innocent art style, you'd be better off just showing your kids an actual horror movie. When this film gets dark, it gets really dark. We're talking characters getting axed off in horrible fashion dark, not to mention one of the creepiest looking villains in animation history in the form of General Woundrort. Like, seriously, a rabbit has never looked so terrifying. Would you believe that this is shown on TV almost every Easter in the UK?
3.
Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, The Boat Ride. Come on now, you knew this was going to show up somewhere on this list. The 1971 musical adaptation of the Roald Dahl classic children's book Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is a fun family romp for the most part, but at around the halfway point, things take a briefly sinister turn. We are talking brief. This scene only lasts a minute or two, but it leaves a lasting impression on viewers of all ages. During a boat ride down the Chocolate River, they enter a strange tunnel where the titular Wonka's playful malevolence morphs into something creepy and unhinged. Gene Wilder got to show off his acting chops in this scene as he plays the sequence terrifyingly straight as grotesque images are projected on the walls of the dark tunnel, including what appears to be a body covered in worms and a chicken getting its head chopped off. It is completely crazy. How this got past the classification board for a film that's supposed to be for children is beyond us.
2,
Courage the Cowardly Dog, You're Not Perfect. Courage the Cowardly Dog is obviously directed towards kids who maybe enjoy the darker storylines. So if you're watching this at a young age, you probably know what you're getting into. But there's one episode in particular that stands out from the rest due to one scene where Courage falls asleep and is confronted by a deformed humanoid creature who simply stares at the camera and says softly, "You're not perfect," right before Courage wakes up. What in the hell is that all about? We don't know whether it was the creepy manner in which this thing spoke or its early animated CGI design that makes it creepy, but one thing is for sure, the writers of this show knew how to freak kids out.
1,
Coraline. So Coraline is quite a freaky little film for kids, and we even know several adults who are creeped out by it. Coraline is a stop-motion animated movie that slithered out of the twisted mind of Neil Gaiman. Stop-motion was probably the perfect animation choice for this film, as stop-motion animation can look incredibly creepy at times, which is exactly what they achieved in this film. That's not to say that the animation is bad. In fact, the stop animation in Coraline is incredible, and it really complements the tone of the film's story very well. There are some truly terrifying sequences in the film, but the introduction of Coraline's other parents is arguably the most disquieting. The atmosphere quickly takes a horrific and dark turn when it's revealed that the mother ripped out a child's voice box and stitched his lips into a forced rictus grin. Whoever greenlit this project needs help. And that's our list. Did we leave any out? Well, let us know in the comments below, and please remember to subscribe and tap the bell button to be notified when new videos are uploaded. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching another amazing video, folks. Subscribe for more from Elite Facts.